Welcome to Positively Muskegon. It's Andy O'Reilly, and today I am down high atop the Chamber of Commerce building. Look at this view behind us. I mean, talk about a job. I mean, I get to go to all the most beautiful places in town. I am here today with Kristen Chamilla. I get that right?
Camella.
All right. And Julie Rayner is over here, and they got a hold of me not too long ago to talk about Camp Shoutout. It is a camp for kids who stutter, and I know about that much about it, and that's why we bring in the experts who are going to talk about this thing. You are from Chicago, I know. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about how you found Muskegon, and first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for coming up. You got to pick a great weekend to come out here and be a part of everything Muskegon. Tell me a little bit about Chicago and how you found Muskegon and what you see when you get here.
Yeah, okay. So I am a speech-language pathologist and board-certified specialist in fluency. And I have a clinic in the Buffalo Grove, this northwest suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
And about 10 years ago, I was approached by a parent of a client, excuse me, she was asking me if I'd be willing to do a camp in the Chicago area. And I had some major surgery, and I said yes.
Of course.
Called me
because who doesn't bite off more than
after the major surgery. And I had never been to summer camp as a child.
Right.
I grew up stuttering, and I was always
afraid
to go to camp, to meet new people, to be in new environments. And so I started that project, and right about the time that began, I met my Camp Shoutout co-director and cohort. She's really the power behind this whole thing.
Sure.
Julie, at a conference I was presenting at on preschool stuttering, and we became colleague friends, and she came to the camp in Chicago to see how that was run, and she really wanted to have a camp here in Muskegon, and I felt that we would have a great collaboration, so I decided to bring the program I had started here.
Right.
And then of course this is its own creation.
Isn't that how it goes? I mean, you start off with an idea, and the next thing you see one pop up down the street, and it spreads.
And my husband and I have fallen in love with Western Michigan.
Why?
I think it's a secret.
Well, let it out. That's what we do.
Driftwood, the nature, we love Western Michigan.
Yeah.
And we actually have a little home in Whitehall, and
really?
Come up here often.
So you found your way here?
We found our way here, so.
Talk to me about stuttering. Mm-hmm. Tell me, because when I first came to town, I dated a gal, and her son was a stutterer. And as time went on, he grew kind of out of it. I don't think he's completely done with it yet, but he's in his mid 20s now. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's as prevalent as it was. Mm-hmm. What's the source? Why?
Well, at this point, what we know about stuttering is that it is what's called a neurodevelopmental disorder that begins in early childhood, about the ages of 2 to 4.
Okay.
And most children that start stuttering at about that time will outgrow or recover from it as development occurs, usually within the first year, sometimes within the second year, sometimes the third. But the longer it persists, the more likely it becomes a chronic problem for the person. And then, of course, as they grow up, they may face different challenges depending on circumstances. It's a very complex disorder.
It is.
And it has tremendous, it's very dynamic, it's always changing over time, and it brings different challenges, at different times in life for the person.
Talk about the impact that it has on that young person. What does it do to them? I mean, is it an isolation thing? Is it that's probably a combination of quite a few things.
Yeah, it's a combination if you think about any person that has a problem and their temperament.
Yeah.
And how that temperament intersects with their environment.
Sure.
What I can do is tell you a little scenario, and you can just imagine the impacts. So let's say you love McDonald's, and you go to McDonald's. You love to get a Big Mac, but the sound "ba" you feel is hard for you to say, and you cannot get that word out. So you order a hamburger instead. That's how big it is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Kind of brings it home a little bit.
Impact can be significant.
Yeah.
Some children, I think, weather better than others, but bullying is very common for children who stutter, and It's a tough road. It's a tough road.
Yeah, it really is. Lasting effects, I mean, when they grow out of the actual, and you say some of them do, some of them don't, grow out of the actual physical stuttering. But does it have an impact throughout their lives?
Well, I think if a person grows up stuttering, it does impact them in different ways. And part of what we know about stuttering is that it's not a psychological problem. There are many factors involved. And the therapy for children as they're growing up involves not only helping them become stronger, more competent communicators, but also dealing with the negative impacts the problem may have.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, growing up's tough enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a tough thing. Let's talk about the camp.
Yeah, let's tell my sort of Muskegon part of this story.
Love the twist. I'm all about Muskegon twists.
I have a daughter who's 13 years old right now.
Okay.
And when she was 2.5, I put her down for a nap in her crib, and when she woke up, she had a severe to profound stuttering problem.
Really?
Now, I'm a speech language pathologist. I was working in Ravenna schools. Now I'm in Reese Puffer schools. I went to Reese Puffer. I'm from Muskegon. And I thought, what am I supposed to do about this?
Right.
And then I'm thinking, man, if the kind of the rule that I remembered from being in school so many years ago was sort of ignore it. But it was so right there in your face that how could you ignore it?
Yeah.
If your child woke up and couldn't walk or couldn't see or couldn't hear, you go to the doctor. Now she can't talk and I'm supposed to ignore it? That didn't feel right. The other thing through the process was, if I'm counseling other children and their parents, I don't know enough.
Right.
Because I feel like I don't know what to do. I don't know enough. So how can I change that?
Yeah.
And so I reached out to different people. There's a Stuttering Foundation, which is a big resource for stuttering. I started there, and through that found Kristen's name.
Yeah.
I said, okay, she lives in the Chicago area. I also knew that what I wanted to find somebody who knew more than I did about this problem. And the local people that I talked to all sort of said the same thing. Oh, I don't feel that comfortable working with a preschool student. So, all right, so I went further. Let's go to Chicago. Let's check it. Let's call Kristen. And it was shortly after that surgery she was talking about. And I had her, so we started going through the process. She coached me. She, told me where to start this, let's do this, let's connect. And I went to that conference that she was presenting I think in Cincinnati, and I shortly after that had Reese Puffer brought her up here to do a day seminar for a few of the school districts. And she mentioned that she also was going to do this summer camp that had just started. And I'm also a summer camper. That's another love of mine since I've been 8 years old.
Yeah.
So
I love it too, as long as there's an air conditioner involved.
Oh, yeah, but no, there's none of that.
I'm all for it, as long as we got an air conditioner. And
somebody cooks your meals. They cook your meals and they clean up. So I talked with her and didn't really know Kristen that well personally at that point, and did what I needed to do to go and volunteer over at the camp in Chicago. And I did that for 2 years, and meanwhile I'm hearing, wow, isn't this great? This facility is so great. And I'm thinking, man, go up Russell Road and we have how many camps right there that can't compare to anything. So through that, we worked on how can we bring that program, or how can we shift it to this area where then I can take care of some of the marketing. And we know that West Michigan is a really great philanthropic community. So some of the grant writing or some of the fundraising and getting all of that out there. So that's sort of how that piece came in. And meanwhile, my children have grown up through that. We've also been able to, I think, couple of years ago, we brought Kristen to the ISD, and she did a 4-day presentation over the school year to all the speech therapists in the county. So really, it's more than just one goal. It is, how can we educate the people who are the first line working with the kids to feel better prepared, more confident in what they're doing and the suggestions and the work they're doing with the families. And then how can we create this camp? Because camp has so much research behind it on how great camp itself is for...
It's an immersive atmosphere.
Exactly. It's independence, it's developing relationships and friendships and, challenge by choice, all this stuff. So how can we bring kids together in that environment and take the positivity of camp and blend that with now the expertise?
Yeah.
When Kristen says that she's board certified specialist, there aren't very many around. The last I checked, there are 3 in Michigan. When we hold the week of camp, we have at least 6 specialists that come from around the country to be part of this. It's a really high level of the therapy. And then we contract with Camp Pendaluan for some of the rec staff and bring in some of our own. We're now at the time where some of our kids who graduated from camp are coming back as volunteers or counselors.
Yeah. The payoff. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
So we have this like world-class program in our backyard.
Yeah.
So not only do Muskegon kids who need to benefit, but we do get campers from California, from Texas, from Florida. We had a boy come until he aged out from Guatemala.
No
a little
kidding.
girl from Egypt. Because once they hear the world-class faculty that is there, they want to come.
Sure.
The speech therapists want to come because it's a workshop for them. They get a ton of continuing ed hours, and they also get summer camp.
All right.
And they're learning from people who wrote the textbooks and lecture.
This is going on right in our backyard.
Right in our backyard, and it's magic. It's magic.
It usually is. And I've got that theory that I've talked about on different stories and through my own life, that group, that knowing that you're not alone is one of the biggest key factors in changing anything. Especially if you learn that young,
Right.
with these kids, they know they're not alone, and they know that there's always that somebody that understands what they're going through.
Many of our campers
It's a big
have
deal.
never met another person
Yeah.
who stutters. I remember, I think it was our first year, and one little boy, he was 11 or 12, when he was leaving, he was like, "Man, I just feel really sorry for for kids who don't stutter."
Right.
What? We're like, why? And he's like, because they never get to come here.
Right. Right.
And that.
The other thing that's really special is that we have several kids that come back every year.
Yeah.
So we're going into our 8th camp
8
now.
years now?
Wow. So we have seen some of these children start and then go off to college. Now they're coming back.
Yep.
Or they come every year, and to watch them grow up and to be a part of their community and to be supportive of
Building
them
success
is
stories.
just wonderful.
It's amazing. Talk about now, when does this camp happen?
It happens so far every year in August.
August, okay.
The grown-ups come a day or two before the kids, and we do a lot of training and orientation workshop. The kids come a Sunday. I feel like it's August 5th, but I'd have to look at the calendar.
Yeah, we'll
It's
link it
right
all
around
on
there.
here. Yeah,
It's
we'll
that,
find that.
it's that first week. So the kids come on a Sunday, they stay all the way till Saturday. The final day, the parents come and spend the day and learn how to help support their child's communication in the environment they're going back to. And we put on this. None of us are theater arts people, but what we learn.
At the end of camp, there's got to be some kind of production,
What
right?
we learned is that when for many of our kids, and this was unexpected learning for us, was when you get them on stage and give them a microphone, they might not get off the stage. We learned that at our first talent show.
I know that feeling.
So
Hand me a microphone on the stage and watch see what you get.
you can come and be our MC this year.
You know what?
You can come and be a co-MC because all the speaking parts are given to the campers.
You give me the date and I will block it out.
That would be amazing.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think
One
that
of
would
the
be a lot
things
of
that we
fun.
do at camp is we create opportunities for these children to communicate.
Yeah.
And we try to set them up so that it's a positive experience. And when it's all said and done, there's about 100 people there.
Yeah.
And we have children come in and they say, their most feared speaking situation is in front of a large group.
Yeah.
So that's what they decide to work on throughout the week. But then the first night, we have something called the evening shout out, and they're standing up with our stick in front of 100 people talking.
Right.
And they don't even realize
Yeah.
There they are really doing it.
See, so what I need you guys to work on between now and August is getting to the point where you can fix it for me, because I would rather be in front of 100 people speaking
Yeah.
than a dinner party of 6.
Yeah.
I am terrified in that setting.
Well, we
I
could
just-
set that up.
Yeah,
And you
whatever the case may
You
be.
could come and teach some kids how to be a broadcaster.
I'd be
Oh,
happy to.
and that could be
we
a
have some
whole
children
activity
that
for
would be
them.
mesmerized by
Yeah,
that.
well, you count me in. I'll
Yeah,
find time.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be the busiest summer I've ever had.
Perfect.
I promise you that.
Well, this will be
But-
the best fun.
But for these
we've had.
kids, I will make time.
You won't be the same when you
I
get
don't
these
care.
kids.
These kids would matter more to me than anything else.
Yeah.
I have to ask about financial.
Yeah.
Is it something insurance will take care of, or is this something that the families have to
Mm-hmm.
find a way to get the kids to on their own?
So we keep the costs as low as we possibly
Absolutely.
can. The cost that we charge is far lower than the cost of the actual program.
Understood.
So we spend a lot of time writing grants,
Yep.
looking for
Sponsors.
different fundraiser sponsors, and our goal is that we will never turn away a child
Right.
for the lack of being able to pay.
Perfect.
And sometimes that means I might write a check because Joey's coming to camp.
Yep.
And so far we're 100% with that.
That's awesome. I
That's
mean, you got to ask because people need to know.
Sure.
you know.
correct. So we, private donations, grant writing, all those things.
One way or another.
It's,
and all
it's
that.
sort of
also-
hard to do a fundraiser when everybody's so far away.
Trust me,
you know.
I know, right?
But we also would never turn away a speech pathologist
Right.
or a graduate student
Sure.
if they want to come and learn.
Sure.
So
Right.
we have multiple ways that
And
we
they-
can
and
support people.
We charge a participation fee
Mhm.
for the adults that come because
Sure.
the camp costs money and
Sure,
everything.
sure.
All that is going right back into Muskegon County.
Absolutely.
Because it's through Pioneer
And
Trails.
again,
It's
and again, I have to ask. It's
Yeah.
just
Sure.
because people are going to
Yeah,
want to know.
correct.
and we're a nonprofit program,
Absolutely.
and all of the professionals involved in the training and the treatment aspects of the program and the volunteers, while they may receive a small honorarium, they're basically volunteering their time.
It's a great thing.
And this camp would not happen without Julie. Julie is she's the back end of the whole production.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it always all starts with that one mom that wants better for her kid. And
Yeah,
you see it
yeah.
over and over and over. So
Yeah.
this is us talking about you right in
Right.
front of your face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just tuned out.
It's where it all begins.
That's
It's that
right.
one mom that wants to make a difference for that
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
and see better.
Mhm.
You're a hero.
Aren't we all?
And
I mean,
and
we
they
work
all
on
and
it.
they all do that. And then, well, yeah, I know, but it's kind of
You know, it's all a community, really. And the
Website?
better we can, www.campshoutout.org.
We'll link it up right here. You can find donation list things on there, all
Right
that
on there,
information,
that's right.
registration, all that.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
We have a virtual 5K fundraiser coming up,
Okay.
which is there's information on there as well where people can run where they are, pay their fee, support a camper,
Yep.
get a keychain and some other swag. But you can run in Japan if that's where you are, or at PJ Hoffmaster if that's
So I was in my lazy boy. I could run right there.
You could also walk, you could also crawl.
In the air conditioning.
You could also go to the brewery and support that as well.
Camp shout out coming up in August. What a great way to take care of kids. And hey, the miracles never stop in Muskegon. I'm telling you, it's the first time I'm hearing about it. But to know this kind of thing's going on in town, and they're coming in from all over the world to be a part of it, I'm going to be a part too. So we'll plan on seeing you guys again in August.
Would love to see
I will be up there. I guarantee it. I don't care what it takes to get me up there. I'll be there. And all the details are going to be right here on Positively Muskegon. Thanks for your time today. Best of luck this summer. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
in August.
Thank
We'll
you.
probably see you before.
I'm sure you will.